All right, welcome back, everyone. We are live. Okay, so we're going to be continuing on with this series of the lab, building your home lab, and today we are going to be talking about folder redirection. Okay, this is something that's dear to my heart because whenever I build any type of domain, it is something that I always apply to my domain. It makes life so much easier for your users, and then it's just simplicity. It's easy to build, easy to work with, and it helps your users so much. That's why I love it. So basically, what is folder direction redirection? Well, think about you having a domain set up. Let's say you go out somewhere, and or you have an office or an organization, right? And all of these computers are connected to the domain. All of these computers though are in different locations. So you come in as a user and you log into, say, computer in the sales department, and you're doing some documentation and whatever it might be, and then you save everything to your desktop or your documents or wherever you want to save your files. You had some stuff that was downloaded, maybe some important emails or whatever, right? Now let's say that computer crashed and you had to get a new computer. Now, what happened is because you had folder redirection, because the organization is built that way, when a new computer comes on, when you log in, all your documentation is still there. Okay, because your stuff is being saved to the server, so no matter what computer you log into, it pulls all that information back over. Another instance is, let's say your computer is still fine, but you wanted to go log into the computer in HR. If you go over to HR just as a regular user and you log in, no matter what computer you log into, your profile follows you, right? So that's why it's called folder redirection, because it travels with you. So all of your documents are always it's like it saves to the cloud per se, and then whenever you log in, it your documentation is still there. Similar technique to thin clients, because like when you do thin clients nowadays, it saves to the cloud and you pull it down. But with this instance, you're using different multiple computers, so you don't have to really take your computer anywhere you want to go. Your users can just log into whatever machine and their information is still there because it saves to the cloud and it's easy for them. Now, one of the bad things about this is when it comes to like heavy downloads, like for example, pictures. Well, not more pictures, but maybe like music and huge downloads. But you can set a policy in your organization and let them know, like, okay, as far as the redirection go for whatever system you log into, we're only going to copy over stuff that are saved to your desktop, your documents, your favorites. That's an important one too. Oh my God, you know how hard it is to get all your favorites back. Sometimes you just need all of your favorites. I'm sure it's just not me. You know what I mean? Like your favorites, you go through and you save all these sites that you normally work with, and then your computer crash or you go somewhere else and your favorites are gone. All right, links and searches and stuff like that. So all of these things can follow you, and it makes life so much easier. I know I started jibber jabbering, but this one is just it just activates my brain cells because I love it, but at the same time, I when I see my users are from a part of an organization that don't believe in it, and something happens to them, and they didn't back up their files, it's like it's heartbroken. It's like I feel it for them. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, what you want to do, you want to make sure that you got to verify that you have users, right? So let's go ahead and fire up my Hyper-V. And we're going to bring the monster into play. So the monster is DC01. And we need to just double check what we have inside of DC01. So obviously we're looking for um, users and groups. So here we are. We have built-in groups already that we've been using for the lab. We have admins and we also have users. So for example, in admins, I do have members. Justin East is an admin. Right here, Justin East is also a member of the help desk, and we've been using Justin for a minute, right? So today, for this, we want to use somebody that we haven't logged into, and it's going to be no other truly but John Wick, right? So we need to check out I need to double check what his login is because I don't even know. But for testing purposes, let's go ahead and look at him. So his account is j.wick. So we're going to use j.wick to log into one of the systems when we get ready, right? We have access to the public share. This was from our DFS when we set up all that stuff. All right, so we know we have users connected to groups, right? And remember, like I always said, you always apply things to groups, not users. All right, so now we need to make sure we have a share folder access for folder redirection, because there needs to be a share folder where, you know, all the stuff can be assigned to. So I'm going to bring up my DFS boxes, which if you were following my last video, we built out DFS, and this is just what's running on my network. Now, you don't have to use DFS. You can use any share folder, but for simplicity, since I'm already working here, I'm just going to go ahead and build out a share folder for DFS real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to call it folder, and I'm going to call it folder redirect. Notice that over here, whatever I do here, it takes place, because that's the great thing about DFS, right? It syncs from one server to the next server. So no matter what type of information you have going on, it syncs. This is the reason why I want to put it on Folder Redirect. I want to put it on my DFS, because it's now the data is being synced to multiple servers versus just one location. Now, this folder is already shared by default because it falls on the net share. But there's one cool thing I wanted to look at, because when it comes to the sharing properties, if you click on share, I want to make sure that I give everyone access to this one. Click add, and I want them to have read and write access, because they're going to be saving. This is where you're going to save all their information. So I'm going to click done, and then I want to go to advanced sharing, and I want to click share again. But I'm going to put a $sign behind this. And the reason why is because I want this folder to exist, but it needs to be kind of like invincible to my users. Okay, so the $sign normally it hides the folder, right? So click on permissions, and everyone needs to have full access. And I'm going to go ahead and add domain users as well. Okay, so not going to find that. All right, check name. I want to get all my domain users the same thing. So domain users have full control, which everybody's going to be a part of the domain, and also everyone. Click OK. Those permissions should get you where you need to be. You can apply more if you choose to, but those should be enough. Okay, click apply right there. Click OK, and as you can see now, this is the network path right there to that share file. Okay. And that should be good enough. Click here. Now over here, even though it created the folder, right? You can see it took basically the same thing. So the pathway is shared, right? And when you look at this right here, it's the same thing, but the only thing is being shared on 01 and 02. Since these are actually like synced partners that will take over the same permissions. If you check as well, you will see that it's also being shared, and then the permissions that I brought over, domain users and everything. So no matter what server you're working on, if it's saved over here, Beautify, the beautiful thing about DFS is going to share exactly the same way you want it. So I know for sure that this information now is coming over and is going to be shared properly. I'm going to keep this folder open though, because I want to do this in real time. So once we set this up and we log in, we want to test to see how the information comes over. Now what we need to do, since we're working on DFS, I need to go ahead and add this new folder to my namespace. Excuse me, I keep forgetting where we're at. So this is a namespace. I want to add this folder as well to it. So I'm going to call this folder redirect, right, which is fine. And as you can see, this will be the location that I can use for that folder. Then I'm going to go ahead and click add. I'm going to browse. Now, as you can see, Because it's a share folder by default, it created its own right here. Or I can go under here and add the folder as well, right? So this folder is the one that we created earlier, but by default, it also pulls up this folder as well because it have the $sign behind it. Very, very cool folder feature, right? But we're gonna go ahead and just to be sure, we're gonna go on the net share, and this is the folder I'm gonna select. So that means I know it's saving right there. But the namespace that we will use for pushing out, it will be this location. Okay. Now we're gonna click OK, and we're gonna do the same thing on this box, right? Add new folder. We're gonna call it Folder Redirect. Same thing. And we're gonna browse to the location. It's under here, so we're gonna click that. Same thing. This is gonna be the name. So if you notice, the name is still the same. The name is still the same. What you'll be using on our DC when we go out to set this up on the GPO, but it's also going to be saved to 02 and 01, right? Two locations that will be using. What happened? Tell me. So this took. Let me see what happened. Oh, okay, I see what happened. So this came over already. This is being shared. 01, 01, 01. Okay. So I forgot that you don't have to create the same thing on both of them. Once you create it on one and you refresh, it's gonna tell you that it's already there. So if you actually come to properties and you look, you will see that it's sharing out to the same location. Okay. All right, too easy. Now let's go ahead and we should be done with DFS. We're going to go ahead and bring back in the monster box, which is our DC. DC, where you at? All right, so John Wick, we know this is your login. We're going to use it in a bit. I want to go ahead and bring up group policy management, right? And this is where now we're going to go ahead and create a group policy to push this out. So under there, we're going to go ahead and create a new group policy, and we're going to call this Folder Redirect. So you can really call this whatever you want to call it, but I want to say deploy Folder Redirect policy. I think that would be good, right? And where are you? Okay, let's enforce this, and we're gonna go ahead and click edit now to edit this GPO. So by default, GPOs can be either user configuration or computer configuration. This one is going to be a user configuration that goes on the policies and then Windows settings. And so this is a user configuration. It's a policy, and then it's on the Windows settings, and you should see right there, there's folder redirection right there. So what you need to do now, you need to select the folders that you want to be redirected, and you're going to place them. So we're going to start off with the desktop first. We're going to right click, go to properties, and you can see that it's not configured. Settings are not granted either. So we're going to go ahead and do basic. So it's going to redirect every folder to the same location. If you did advanced, you can do groups and split it up, but we're just going to do the basic configuration. We're going to create a folder for each under the root pathway right here, right? This is what we want to click, and then the location now, we can click browse and try to find it, but it's not on the public share at all. So, oh, it did pull up. I thought it was thought it was going to be disappear. That's weird. But let's see if this took it. So, yeah, that's actually the location. Yeah. So under the public share, this is the location. I'm gonna have to test that hidden file. I wonder why it pulled up like that, because it's not supposed to be seen. Oh, it's on the DC though, so that might be why. Okay, but anyway, this is the location that we want to use to do the folder redirect. I'm gonna click apply. right there. Click yes. We go to settings. We're going to make sure this is good to go. Click this box for policy removal. This is just saying if you leave the folder in the location, it's going to remove the policy. I want to redirect it back to the user's profile whenever the policy is moved, so that it doesn't delete the policy. If anything, if you can't find it, click yes, and it's going to target the same thing, right? So then you click OK, and you will have now your desktop set up. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to pause the video here because I'm going to do the exact same thing for documents, favorites, and the other ones. Actually, you can, yeah, I'm going to just pause the video right here so you don't have to wait for me to painfully do all of this at the same time. All right, and I'll be right back. All right, so I have finished creating all of the folders that we need to add to the group policy, and then I have closed it. So here we go. Just want to go ahead and refresh the group policy management real quick, and then I'm gonna fire up on my box. I'm gonna go ahead and do a GP update on my domain controller, let that run, okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and go in here and go to this PC. I'm going to go to public, and I want to go to folder redirect, and I'm going to leave that blank so we can do a few tests to make sure this actually works. Now we're going to go ahead and minimize this. What we need to do is fire up now PC3 to do a test. So this was already off. We're going to go ahead and start this box. And as you can see over here too, we want to bring back up DFS Folder Redirect on this box as well, so we can see in real time. I like to do things in real time, so just to confirm that this is actually happening right here. Okay, so this box is going up. So PC3, this is Justin East. We can try to log in with Justin too, and test it. So Justin logged off. If this doesn't show when we log in, what we'll need to do, we'll have to do a GP update on Justin's box since he's been logged in before, and then restart his computer so that we can see things populating. So I'm going to just go ahead and click here. We're looking to see the group policies coming in. Once he logs in and everything, that's what we're looking forward to see. Okay. So like I said, if nothing shows up when Justin logs in for the first time, that's because the group policies probably haven't taken effect yet because he was already a logged in user. All right, so let's go ahead and hit a PowerShell real quick. And we need to do a GP update on Justin's box. This policy is probably going to ask him to log off and restart. You can do it. And this is what I want to test. So we're testing with a user that was already logged in prior, and we're trying to update his box to see if it will take. And then we're going to also log in with a user that's never been logged into the domain before and test to see the process right there. And by default, I'm going to just go ahead and create a new folder on Justin's as a just call it Justin and let's just put something in here as well, the blank text. So as you can see, those are Justin files that's on his desktop right there. Yeah. Group policy is not done yet, so let's Just keep watching real quick. I don't want to pause the video because I want you guys to see this in real time. So that's why I'm not pausing this. It, it it comes over, but I will speed this part up for you, but I want you to see it. All right, see, there you go. I did hit enter a couple times. That's why it shows this way. But as you can see, like I was telling you, it's gonna prompt it to probably excuse me. It's gonna prompt you to restart because of the policy. So it tells you that the following errors were counted during the processing. The group policy client side folder redirection was unable to apply because the changes require, as you can see, that changes must be processed before the system or the user log on. And this is why I was saying that since he's already logged in, you won't see this until he completely logs off and log back in. So the system will do the group policy processing now, and then we have to log Justin off. So are we good to log Justin off? You tap Y, and you're going to click OK. This is if you have a user that's already been logged in before. This is how you would fix this issue. I have to do a GP update and let it run through. It takes a few minutes, and then we need to log back in as that user, and then the group policy should be applied. And that's most group policies anyway. GP update. Ooh, look at that. That's Justin right there. See that? Justin just populated on my DFS. So if he's over there, guess where he should also be? Boom! Justin populated right there. Let's check out our DC as well. Where's the DC? There you go. 3 different parts, 3 different locations, as you can see. Justin came in with his files right there. You see all the stuff we set up for Justin. App data, desktop, documents, favorites, all of these were the folders what we did. And then on his desktop, I don't have access to it because it's protected until Justin gives you access. But this is his information. This is good too, because you don't want people prying into other folks' information. All right, there's ways around it, but this is not what we're going to do. We don't pry on our users, right? But as you can see, the folders are being redirected, right, the proper way inside of the drive itself. All right, now that's a good thing. Same thing, Justin East is over here. All the folders are being redirected. All the folders are being redirected, and this is on our DFS. So one thing we're confirming too, confirming DFS is actually working from the previous video, and then also with making sure that folder redirection is now working. And on our users, when they log in, you can see now his files actually came over, and everyone is happy. So Justin's files, he came over, and everything is good to go. What we're going to do now, let's go ahead and test one more user before we go. So we're going to go ahead and log off, right? Going to sign out. And let's try to log in as Jaywick. So other user. Okay, so welcome Jaywick to the club. Same thing. Folder redirect. There you go. Mr. Wick is in the building. And as you can see now, new users, as soon as they join the team, you will see that their files are also redirecting properly, and it's sitting on the network. So that means whenever a user log into whatever PC, all that stuff will be there. Easy way to help your users out. Easy way to manage folder redirection and folders properly on your network using a combination of DFS file sharing system and folder redirection. you can make your life as an admin so much easier. Guys, I thank you for watching. I hope you had as much fun as me. I know, like I said, this is dear to my heart, but I thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next time. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell. You know, show us some love. We appreciate it. Thank you.